grab me a beer and grab him a coke. We about to sit for an hour, bullshit and tell jokes. And please don't mix it up, cause he done sobered up. Brandon T Comedy on your social media feeds. And Brandon Taz if it's your ex drinking buddy. Brandon Taz if it's your ex drinking buddy. Brandon Taz if it's your ex drinking buddy. Brandon Taz if it's your ex drinking buddy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. I'm your host, Brennan Tassif. Quick rundown of the show. If you're new to the show, I am sober now, but I used to be a real heavy drinker, big into partying, and my favorite thing about that was talking about it, sharing stories, hanging out with friends. So that's what the podcast is all about, reminiscing on old stories, kind of catching up with some friends. I will normally be joined by a guest, and today is no different. I am joined by the hilarious comedian, YouTuber sensation, Jake Ricca. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, dude?
Not much.
Yeah, good to be here. Happy to be on.
Promote everything you got going on up front.
Oh, right up front? I don't even have to be funny yet?
No, not at all.
Yeah, all right. All right, cool. Yeah, I guess the most popular way to find me, if you just go to YouTube, I've had a lot of videos explode there out of nowhere. If you play Call of Duty Warzone, you might have seen my face already. Yeah, it's just my name, Jake Ricca, Jakericca. If you just looked it up on every form of social media, you'll see me. And it's starting to pick up steam. That's
beautiful.
It. And I also have a podcast as well. Should I plug that?
Yeah, go ahead.
That's how it's working. Okay, Cup of Jokes podcast. I do it with another comedian from Orlando called Joe Sensabella. I don't know why I said called that. I call him that. I'm sure we all call him that if you met him. Yeah. It's called Cup of Jokes. It's a goofy podcast. But yeah, those are
what do you guys talk about on Cup of Jokes?
We don't really have a... See, you're a little more professional where you have, like a set rhythm. It's like, okay, we're going to make sure the shit flows. He just kind of says real dumb shit and I make him stop kind of.
Okay.
I just call him out on it. And we just kind of talk shit. If something happens in the news, like when the Capitol happened, you got to address that, you know. That's it. We just really talk. And if we have shows, he works at the Orlando Improv, so he'll constantly be hanging out with when Russell Peters came to town, he was he did a guest spot and got to go out to eat and hang out with the dude.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he gets to meet a lot of bigger names, surprisingly. It's crazy.
That's cool, man. So you do comedy now here, based out of Orlando.
Yeah.
What brought you to I always like my guests to kind of or my audience to kind of get to know the guests a little bit before we get into the stories. Mm-hmm. Why did you start comedy? Where did that even come from? Have you always liked comedy? Because I know with the YouTube thing, that's really blowing up. And so that seems like something, have you always been a performer or did you want to do stand-up and then during the quarantine kind of pivoted to making videos, or how did all this start?
I always wanted to do comedy in some way. I was just kind of just afraid of it. Just a lot of people are just afraid to talk in front of people. I was afraid to talk in front of the class. But if I was sitting down in the classroom and the teacher asked a question, I'd be the first person to raise my hand and say the stupidest shit that came to my head.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it was it was in there, and I got good at making people laugh, and I kind of put it on the back burner because I was trying to play football in high school.
Okay.
And if you did something bad or did something wrong in high school, you had to run sprints.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck that. Okay, I'm good to curse, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to clarify before I go crazy. And so I kind of put it off, got to college, blew my knee out.
Did you go to UCF to play football?
I went to UCF just to go to UCF, and then I actually walked on.
Okay.
And my issue was I walked on without knowing I had torn my ACL.
Oh, so you tore it in high school and you had no idea?
Yeah. No. I tore it in high school, got surgery, went to UCF thinking I was good to go and I can just train. Okay. Tried walking on and they saw my highlight tape. I had a 4.0 at the time. They're like,
damn,
there's a free 300-pound body at 6'3" with a good highlight tape. Just, come on to the team. I didn't have to do a tryout. I was just training with them in the weight room. I was literally part of the team. And then 2 weeks go by and I couldn't keep up. And they're like, you need to work on your knee or take care of yourself, get in better shape and come back out next season.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, fine. They basically said, fuck off. Go take care of yourself. Trained for a whole year, think I'm ready to go. I go to a doctor to get cleared, and he goes, yeah, you tore your ACL again.
Oh, my God. And so you've been doing all that training and stuff? And
I tore it without knowing it.
Yeah. Well, because you played offensive line, I'm assuming?
O-line, yeah.
Yeah. So you wouldn't have known until you tried to get out there and pivot on it or something.
Yeah, I'm not running routes and shit.
Exactly.
I'm flipping tires. I'm doing squats. Everything's stationary. I'm not doing anything crazy. So I was able to do everything, and then I happened to tear it again. They were like, yeah, you're torn.
Oh, man. That fucking That breaks my heart.
No, that's fine. I went right from that into the solid big fat guy move and went into bouncing.
Yeah.
That's the solid backup plan.
Me and Marcus always make a joke whenever we go anywhere because we always wear black shirts and jeans because we're both bigger guys. And if we just stand at the door of anywhere, people always stop and show their IDs. And it's like, we could probably tell people like this show is $5 and get away with it for a while.
You can. It does work. I've done it. You can just collect IDs and shit.
Yeah. Just be like $5. It's never a cover. There's a band tonight, guys. There's a band tonight. Later, there's a band.
Yeah. I've checked people's IDs to walk into the bathroom just to fuck with them.
Really?
Yeah.
Just standing there and they're like,
yeah.
oh.
I've been wearing like a white shirt and someone's just like, am I good to go here? I was just like, no, fuck you. I don't work here.
So that's awesome. So, the football thing falls apart.
Yeah.
And so what did you major in at UCF? What were you going to school for? Like
business.
Okay.
Because I had no idea what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I was in the same boat. I started at business because everyone in my family was like, you got to do business or marketing. And then I took like 2 political science classes and I was like, this is so much more fun to me than business. So I changed majors and then now I wait tables. So it all works out.
Yeah. See, I originally went in with I wanted to do psychology.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was my initial major. Like when I checked off and you had to choose what track.
Yeah.
But I was still doing my like gen ed, so it was completely wide open.
Yeah.
And I was just like, after a year of it, I was just realizing like, unless I get my own practice, psychology is going to be like a hard business decision, or like a hard place to like make a bunch of money.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you got to really like give a shit about that if you want to make some money. So I was like, I guess I'll go into business.
Yeah.
Because it's super wide open, and then did that while bouncing and. Yeah, that's all I did for college.
So did you where did the comedy come in? So you said that you were always kind of the funny guy in high school, but you didn't want to get in too much trouble because you didn't want to run sprints. So when you get to college, are you like, I'll start going to open mics? Did you take a class? Like, what happened?
I was always wanted to. I was like kind of dabbling in it, but I was afraid of like failing.
Yeah.
I was afraid of telling people I'm going to try to do it, and then they find out I failed at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's always like the biggest fear. So like I like dip my foot in it little by little. Like my senior year, I took a what's it called? I took actually an acting class at UCF, like one of the drama classes. And my excuse that I was telling other people, even though they didn't ask, I was just like, I'm doing this because of this.
Yeah.
And they were just like, you're what? Nothing. Just
nobody gives a shit.
I was just saying, yeah, I'm taking acting because I have to give presentations in business class, so I don't want to fuck up.
That's like Marcus was telling me some of the people that do the stand-up class, they do the same thing. They're like, no, I'm doing this for work. It's like, are you?
No.
Are you?
You've always wanted to just admit that you were a pussy.
Yeah.
That's my, I don't know. Maybe it's because you played football and stuff. So they just hammer into you. It's just like, you got to admit that you're a bitch so you can get better.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're a bitch right now. Train and you'll be better. So that's like, I guess the mindset I brought over to it.
Yeah.
Of like, I was afraid of even admitting I wanted to try.
So you started doing acting classes, and then I'm curious, is you just because you've been in the Orlando area this whole time?
Yeah.
Did you grow up here, or did you?
I grew up in South Florida, like Palm Beach, Boca Raton area. I came up here for school.
Yeah, I went to FAU. I know that area.
Oh, okay.
I spent a lot of time in Gun Club.
In Gun Club. Oh, I kind of know where that is.
It's the county jail.
Oh, that's that's why I know that name.
It's on Gun Club Road.
Okay. I knew it sounded familiar.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, I spent a lot of time down there. I went to school down there for 5 years and got my first DUI, and then ran from probation and then got caught. And you have to finish whatever it is you get sentenced to in the county you were originally arrested.
Wow.
So I had a fun trip back to Palm Beach County.
Damn.
like 6 years later.
On like a bus or just a normal car? Or?
No, so it's really shitty. So what they do is we get pulled over. We were driving to an AA meeting. This is when I was living in the halfway house. And the officer was like, that's where I have that joke about when a cop asks you for your license and registration, don't say this is the land of the free and the home of the brave. Francis Scott Key says, I don't got to show you shit. Like, don't tell them that. That whole joke originated because the cop asked me for my ID. And I said, you don't need to see my ID. I'm sitting in the passenger seat. You don't need to see my ID. Because I knew I had a warrant, because I knew I ran from probation. Yeah. So I'm in Duval County, Jacksonville. So they obviously, eventually he gets my ID. They guns drawn, get out of the car. Because it's a warrant. I mean, I understand it's a warrant, but it's a third-degree misdemeanor, man. Like, everybody relax. But
yeah, but why did he even need to see your ID? Like, dead ass.
Well, because I didn't have my seatbelt on, so he was gonna write me a ticket for not wearing my seatbelt.
Cunt.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So so I knew I had the warrant, so I did all that bullshit, and then but then so you go to Duval County, and then they have to transfer you. So that takes like 2 days. So I spent 2 days in Duval County, and then they put you in a van. But it's not like a big comfortable van. It's not like a Bang Bus style van. It's very much like a Hannibal Lecter, like literally there's stalls in the van, and you have to like crunch up. I'm 6'1", so I'm not as big as you, but I'm 6'1". At the time I was like 230. Yeah. So you have to like crunch up 36 hours like this, because you have to stop in every county on the way down to pick up and drop off prisoners.
Well, it's kind of like the Bang Bus van, because you are getting fucked on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So
I teed it up and then you hit it out.
Yeah, there we go. I got throw it up. I'll throw it down.
But Kobe to Shaquille O'Neal. Yeah, so that was the worst. So yeah, that's how I ended up back in Palm Beach County. What brought you to UCF? Was you just wanted to get out of South Florida? Because FAU's right there, FIU's right there.
Yeah, I just wanted to move out.
Yeah.
I wanted to just like experience college, and I didn't really have like a go-to plan of like, I'm dying to go to this school, I'm dying to go to this one. But UCF seemed really cool, and there was a girl I fucking thought was super hot. She loved it. She was going there. We had kind of had like a thing. I was like, that's my favorite school too, for sure. I love that school. What's your favorite color? That's my favorite color.
That band is awesome. I'm sorry. What band did you say again?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So then when do you have like a timeline in your head of like when you actually started, like after the acting classes and all that, where you just started doing mics? You were just like, fuck it, and you did it?
2017.
Okay.
In 2017, what eventually pushed me into it was something that kind of sucked. My mom passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
man.
shitty. She passed away in 2015, and I got super depressed. I was fucking sad as shit. And it just got to a point where I eventually actually stopped caring about what people thought.
Yeah.
And was like, I need to do something to make me happy, or I'm not going to want to live.
Okay.
It was like that kind of like moment of like, all right, what do I actually want to fucking do? Why? And I started like overanalyzing and thinking, why have I been doing this? Why have I been doing that? And I came to the realization that everything I'd been doing in the past, like the football, like trying to act certain ways, being a bouncer, it was not what I wanted to do. It was what I thought I wanted other people to see me doing. Yeah. Like I was like, oh, the big strong guy, the big cool guy. When really it wasn't me. I always just wanted to be a fucking goofball and be funny. It's
so weird how, because this is the first time we've actually sat down and like hung out. We've met each other at shows a couple times, but this is the first time we sat down. It's shocking to me, and this is why I love doing this podcast, is the parallels that people have in life. Mm-hmm. I was the same way. When I first started playing football, I hated it. I hated the contact. I grew to love it because it kind of, once you do it long enough, your brain kind of rewires. Yeah. But when I first started playing, man, I was the same way. I was like, I just want to like joke around with my friends. Like, I don't like this at all. But I did it because I was the biggest person in my family. My dad grew up in the Midwest, in Ohio, where you play football, and I was twice his size. So he was like, my son is going to be like this athlete, like he's going to play. And I never enjoyed it. When I first started playing in Pop Warner, I was like, this hurts. Like, I don't like anything about this because I wasn't like I was an anxious, depressed kid. Like I didn't have, and I was always angry. But then once I learned how to kind of funnel that into football, then it became fun when I could start, when I finally hit my growth spurt and was able to hold my own, then it was more fun. Yeah. But I remember when I first started playing, I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I just want to joke with my friends. And then it's interesting you say about that kind of almost, forgive my phrasing, but like that come to Jesus moment where you're like, what am I doing? Yeah. Because I didn't go through anything obviously as tragic as what you went through, but I've talked about this before, is when I got sober the last time, I was rushed to the ER by a friend because they found me in my bathroom, like on the floor. The doctors tell me, we don't understand how you're alive. Like, you should have been dead 6 hours ago. Like, your tolerance is this and that. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, I got to stop doing this. Like, I need to get sober for real this time. So I did. 3 months into it, I told my sponsor, I go, I'm going to kill myself. Like, if I'm just going to work, because I was working 2 jobs, I was like, if I'm just going to work every day, going to the gym and going to AA meetings, like, that's like, what is my life? Like, what is that? Like, what am I doing?
It's kind of shitty.
Well, and then
that's the way you see it.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah. And then he was like,
that.
Well, you have to find something you're passionate about. And I was like, well, the only thing that I've ever really cared about was comedy. And the only reason for that is because when I was younger and going through, my anxiety and depression and cutting myself and hurting myself and doing all that dumb shit, I would fall back on comedy. Mitch Hedberg, Stephen Lynch, Tom Rhodes, like all those guys, like back in the old school original Comedy Central Presents days. And so that's why I've always loved comedy, is because I want to, help other, I want to make people laugh when they're going through shitty times. So that's what he was like, well, why don't you just pursue that? And dude, ever since then, like you're saying, like, it's just been, this is it. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like,
you just have kind of a purpose.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, I look forward to that.
Yeah.
Constantly. Like you're like, if someone like asks you, who are you or what are you doing? You'd be like, oh, I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
Or like, I'm pursuing comedy. It's like, yeah, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
What I'm doing.
And it's so crazy the fact that, like you said, when we first sat down, you were like, well, it's nice to meet you, I guess.
Yeah.
But then to have a lot of parallels in common between the football and then the, figuring out about comedy and stuff. Because I took acting classes too at FAU, because same thing. I was like, well, I want to do it, but I don't really know if I'll be any good at it.
Yeah.
It's a scary fucking thing.
How many friends did you have say, you should do comedy before you actually did it?
A few.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
I had so many, and every single time they said it, I would literally be like, fuck you, nah. Stop messing with me. Like, you're just being a dick.
My dad still to this day, whenever I come home, because I used to do a lot of impressions when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. So my dad still to this day, when I come home for holidays, he has a couple pops and he's like, hey, Brennan, do the Pacino. Do it. Yeah. Do it. Like I'm like, same thing as like when you're on stage though. It's like, do it. Dance, monkey, dance.
Basically, yeah. The first time I had that moment, my dad had me do the truffle shuffle.
Oh, God.
I grow fat. My dad brought me with him. So my dad did tile. He brought me with him to pick up his paycheck from his boss, who just went to his house to get it. Because the guy just took all the money and would write my dad a check.
Yeah.
And he took him with him. He goes, you got to see this. Jake, do the truffle shuffle.
He brought you to his boss's house? He brought
me to his boss's house to fucking do the truffle shuffle. And...
Oh, that's painful.
And I was just so happy that he was laughing and looking at me.
Yeah.
I was so happy.
Yeah. That's what it's all about. I remember I almost was not able to walk at my graduation because going to Disney for senior night, jokingly, one of the kids was like, hey, Brennan, moon the other bus.
Nice.
And everyone stops and turns and looks. And I was like, well, now I have to.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's counting on me. And I did it, obviously got kicked off the trip, got sent back to Spruce Creek. And then the principal, I had to sit in with the principal. And we had this whole discussion about how
hilarious it was.
No. If it wasn't for my brother and what he represented to the school, he was there 6 years before me, but he was an IB, full academic scholarship, was getting his PhD from like Cornell. And it was like, if it wasn't for what your brother did, we wouldn't even think about letting you walk. And I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
If I would have just trying to get attention, everyone looking at you like, well, now I guess I have to moon the bus.
Yeah, I would fucking kill for attention back then. I don't know why.
We still do.
Yeah, we still do, but now we make a point to like work on it. So when someone gives us their attention, it's worth their attention. That's like the goal is to like, I go up and eat dick at a mic so I can figure something out that's going to make people happy, make people enjoyable to watch
absolutely.
It. When I don't know. I think I defaulted to comedy as like a defense mechanism. Because I got bullied when I was super young for being fat. So I was just like, well, I got to embrace this. I got to find a way. And I made someone laugh. And just from there on out, I was just like, go out of my way to be funny.
Yeah. That's amazing because it's literally the same thing it was for me. Being bullied and stuff at school and then just kind of trying to flip it on its head.
Mm-hmm. You be rabbit that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Unintentionally, you just do that. You're like, I got to be funny.
If everyone's going to look at me and they're going to be mean to me, well, then if I can make them laugh. It's interesting too. Like middle school and high school, same hierarchy as jail. Same exact thing. Like when you get in there, everyone's like kind of looking at you like, who the fuck's this guy? And then they kind of test you. But then if you can make everybody laugh, you're in. You're good.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So just if anything ever comes up.
Good point, yeah.
But speaking of being arrested, I did want to ask you about you got arrested. How long ago was this for the weed that wasn't yours?
This was going into senior year or beginning of senior year. I can't remember.
Of high school?
Yeah, of high school. I was 17, and my fat ass got arrested in the driving out of a Taco Bell. So that's
God.
So that fit. It was me and the other fattest kid in school. So.
Was this at like 2 a.m? Is this in the afternoon? Or?
It was pretty late. It must have been like somewhere, probably at least like somewhere between 10 and 12 at night.
Okay.
I had snuck out that night, and I was driving my buddy, and he sold at the time, And we
when you say snuck out, did you guys sneak out to go to a party, or you just snuck out just to go drive around?
Snuck out, like we were gonna go to a party. I can't remember the specifics, but I did sneak out to hang out with him. I was like, just like either go to a party or just to smoke. I can't remember.
Okay.
But he was just like, yeah, cool, I'll pick you up. I was like, perfect. And sneak out, go to hang out with the dude. We get high as fuck. Car reeks, and we go to Taco Bell because that's what fat dudes do.
Yeah.
And we get Taco Bell. We're pulling out. I think he must have rolled a stop sign or something, but a cop pulls us over. The car fucking stinks. Like we're not idiots. We're like, we're fucked.
Yeah.
We're fucked. And he was really cool about it. The dude who was driving.
Yeah.
We got pulled over. Officer goes, "You've been smoking weed?" He goes, "Officer, yeah." Like, you want me to lie to you? Like, yeah. Here, everything in the car is mine. Here's all the weed. I don't know what else to tell you. You got us. And the cop was like super cool about it, except because the weed was within arm's reach of me. Even though the person driving said everything in the car is mine, he gave me constructive possession, which I didn't think was. I don't fucking know. I don't know. It means I get in trouble and my Xbox gets taken away. That's what that fucking means. Okay, it means I have to miss practice and go to court. And then my parents lie to my football coach and say he has family things.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So was it a written arrest, like a ticket arrest, or
like a written arrest? My parents came to pick me up, and the cops were like, they could tell I was terrified. I was fucking a fat white kid from Boca.
Yeah.
I was terrified of police. I was just like, oh my God, I didn't want to get in trouble. Not for like a real reason to be terrified, but like I was like, oh, my parents will get mad like that. And the guy, when he puts me in handcuffs, he realizes I'm like struggling. He's like, I'm going to put your cuffs in the front so you don't break your hands. He doesn't want me to like sit on it. And he just puts me in the guy's car, takes my shit down. But then, the next like 6 months sucked. I had to like work tile with my dad like all summer.
Oh, so
just to pay off the court bills.
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah. So that was what they made you do. Did you have any other consequences once you went to court, though?
No, the case got dropped because they were like, we hired a family friend who was a lawyer.
Yeah, Boca Raton, I got you.
Yeah, Boca, yeah. And we didn't come from a lot of money, but we lived where rich people were. So we had rich friends.
Yeah.
And they ended up just dropping the case. Like basically the officers didn't show up.
Okay.
They just dropped it. I didn't even have to get it expunged from my record.
Damn.
But they just wanted to give me something.
Yeah.
It's a dick move. Yeah,
like,
my night's
got
ruined.
arrested.
I'm stressed the fuck out. I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen to me right now?
And then it just all goes away.
Yeah, it's insane relief, but up until that point, you're just like, fuck, man.
But it didn't go away for your parents.
No, not at all.
So you said 6 months of tiling with your dad.
Yeah, just to pay off everything.
Yeah, and then you said your Xbox got taken away?
Yeah.
Just full on grounded, no going out, no nothing?
Your
senior year?
Senior year. It was just like, all you can do is do football, which was fine. Did football, did all that stuff, but it was just like, and then they got to the point where it was just like, you're almost 18. It was weed.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. So they kind of.
Yeah, they kind of. My mom never really smoked, but my dad did.
Okay.
So he was just like, yeah, it's whatever. My mom was more mad that I called my dad instead of her.
Oh, really?
She was just like, why'd you call him? Like, first
were your parents together at the time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So she was just come together until she passed.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome. So she was just pissed off that you didn't call her.
She was mad at me. That was the first thing. She was at home crying. Why didn't you call me instead?
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Like, that's why you're mad at me?
Oh man, I know one of the only numbers I have memorized is to this day at 33 is my mom's cell phone number.
Yeah.
So still, whenever
my mom's, my dad's, my brother's, and like 2 or 3 friends.
It's my mom and my ex-fiance. So that's a really weird call when I got my second DUI and I couldn't get a hold of my mom, and I had to call my ex-fiance and be like, hey, can you call my sisters? Like, I can't get a hold of anybody. I don't know anybody else's number but yours and hers. So can you make these calls for me?
Yeah, please. Like, help me out a little bit.
She's like, this is why I left you, just so you know.
Yeah.
I was like, I understand, but can you make the calls?
Did she make the calls?
Oh, yeah. My older sister came and bailed me out. Yeah, she's great.
That's nice.
You said after college you bounced, or during college?
During college, yeah. I bounced for about 5 years.
Okay, and that was all in the Orlando area?
All the local UCF bars.
Okay, so you did bars? You didn't do like big like clubs or anything?
I did a couple. They were bars/clubs.
Okay.
So it was 18 to get in, 21 to drink. There's a DJ, like a giant dance floor, and then bars on the inside that was like kind of like a club, and then there was a bar on the outside.
Okay.
Both on almost at every establishment.
Really?
It was
It's just all
like
the same.
that. Yeah, same shit, just copy and pasted.
Yeah.
With a different name.
So did you, when you were bouncing, did you like tell me about bouncing? I want to get to the fight you were telling me about, but before that, what is it like? Because I know how I was when I was in college and how fucked up I would get, and like you pass that point of like from fine to tipsy to like brown out to complete blackout.
Yeah.
And you try and get in, I can speak for myself. I try and get in fights, like, check the bouncers and stuff. How often did that happen to you? Like, was that just another day at work?
Night, everyone.
I knew you were going to say that.
Because the place, Wednesdays were the worst. Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, there was fights every single one of those days.
Okay.
100%. Because Wednesdays was something at one of the places I worked at, it was free liquor pitchers.
What do you mean?
I'll say that again. Free liquor pitchers. You pay like $10 to get in, and then they would give you a free pitcher of liquor because they fucking sold wells.
Yeah.
So they got the bottle for like $7. So if you paid 10 at the door, you basically bought a bottle.
Yeah.
So they would just give you a pitcher of fucking liquor.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and it was until 12 at night. So motherfuckers would just be getting absolutely wasted, and the people getting wasted were fucking kids, bro. They were like they were like anywhere between like 18 to 22 is that average age.
Yeah.
And everyone had fake IDs, and the people checking the door, checking the IDs were always fucking high. I was checking IDs.
I was like, what? Did you see me thinking? I was like, wait, weren't you the one up checking IDs?
No, not that was just a little fun bit. But no, but like it was like the kids checking IDs were 19, 20 as well. So if they saw a fake ID, they were just like,
okay, so you see it. Yeah, because working in the restaurant industry,
just
especially when I was living in Daytona during spring break, it's one of those things where it's like you need to card everybody. But it's like, yeah, like if you have the balls to pull out an ID and show it to me, I'm like, who am I to say like this isn't you? Mm-hmm. And so that's the kind of mentality I always had as a server back then. Like, was that the same thing as a bouncer? Like, if you're going to pull this out and show it to me, you're just going to be like, all right, whatever.
It was more along the lines of, are you being a dickhead?
Okay.
Like, I didn't, because the bars I bounced at, I rarely had to check IDs.
Okay.
I was more or less just like, make sure no one's drinking without a wristband. If they were, take their shit, throw them away, give them a warning, do it again, kick them out.
Okay.
Or like if they're real drunk or being an asshole, just kick them out right away. But yeah, most of the time it's like if you have an ID, it looks like you. I'm not a pro at this. It's a dark nightclub. If you're not
20
fucking
years old, yeah.
Yeah, you're in college trying to have fun. Have fucking fun.
Yeah.
But if you're an asshole, I'm gonna kick you out.
Okay.
That was the kind of mentality. As I started bouncing at like 19 or 20. I can't remember.
That's what I figured. Yeah.
So I was underage too. So I was just like, hey, don't drink, clock out, and then I go drink. Like it was a dick. I felt like such an asshole.
Did you So you said Wednesdays were the worst because I still can't get over that free liquor.
Liquor pitchers. Oh, and then Friday was like free beer till 12 or some shit.
That's insane to me.
It is insane, bro. These bars, it's all because they could just do wells and really cheap, shitty beer.
Yeah, and I'm assuming because at FAU there's, and I'm sure it's the same.
Night Owl, right?
Yeah. FAU Owls. Oh, burrowing owls. But I'm assuming it's even more so here at UCF because Orlando's a much bigger city than Boca is.
Yeah.
There's probably so many clubs that they just have to do something to stay relevant. So that's why they do the free, basically the giveaway shit.
Yeah.
But doesn't that create problems for you, like when you're working? Like how often are the cops being called? How often? Like, is this like
every
you said,
single
Wednesday,
night.
Friday, and Saturday, every single week?
Every single night, cops were getting called because cops were already there. Off-duty cops were stationed outside, just ready, because that's how often people get in fights.
That seems like the definition of hostile work environment.
100%, yeah. But it was super easy money.
Yeah,
and I didn't really have to do anything.
Was it fun? Did you have like a good time? Like
phenomenal time. I was a fucking college kid. Your
face before you said that made me think you're gonna be like, no, it fucking sucked.
It's like the first year of it, you love it.
Yeah.
You're like, this, I can't believe I'm getting paid right now.
Yeah.
I'm hanging out with I'm getting paid to work at the place that all my friends go to drink, go to hang out at. I'm talking to like different women, meeting people constantly. It's like, this is great. And after a year of that, it's like, oh, fuck, I'm going to work right now.
Okay.
And then you just like, you get tired of hearing the same song. You just, every single night, the DJs, it's different DJs, but they play the same shit because that's what's relevant, you know?
Yeah.
They have a couple like cool mixes in between or like some funny quirks, but you got to play the same shit. So you're hearing the same music every night. And it just gets to a point where you're like, I don't even like drinking anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I'm over this. Like, just like all these fucking idiots.
How often did you personally get into fights? Were you fighting all the time too?
I was breaking up fights all the time. I never punched anyone while bouncing.
Okay, that's.
But I've literally had to restrain and carry out 50 to 100 people. Probably more.
Now, did you? I'm curious to know this because I talked to Marcus about this when he worked at Regency, doing security.
He was a little more aggressive.
Yeah, a lot more aggressive. He's so open about it though. Like he's been on this show a couple times, and he just is like, yeah, I drop kicked a lady.
Yeah,
like she was fucking up, and I'm like, all right, man.
See, before I bounce, I would be like, you're an animal, but like, nah, man. Women will come at you and try to fucking punch you in the face.
Yeah.
Women will try to punch you.
That's what I was going to ask you.
It's
yeah.
insane, bro.
Have you ever had to like, obviously, I'm sure you have, like throw them over the shoulder and like, we're leaving.
The worst story that I have about a girl at I had to kick out of a place. I was actually working a frat party. This girl showed up to
so the frats would hire you.
Yeah. It was just
we had frats, but we didn't have any on-campus housing. So this is new, and I was never in a frat, so this is new to me.
Yeah, I just got paid. I would get paid like $100 to just sit in front of a frat party door, and they would fucking feed me drinks.
Okay.
So I had friends in the frat too, so they would just give me drinks and pay me. I was like,
now what do you do? Are you checking IDs? Are you making sure people pay to like get the
making
cup,
sure
or?
People actually were supposed to be there? And then if the people that are throwing the party are like, I don't fucking know this kid, get rid of him. I'd be like, you gotta go.
Okay.
That simple. And then I would like, if it was like a big event, it would be checking IDs, making sure they have wristbands.
Okay.
And that's it.
So you're at this frat party.
At a frat party, and this girl gets in, and they let her in because she's like an attractive girl. She knows people there, but the problem is she's starting shit with everyone, and then there's a group of girls there that are like, I guess the girls are there all the time.
Okay.
And she's starting shit with them. They're like,
what
you
do
gotta
you
go.
Starting a fight or like talking trash?
Like about to start a fight. Like
okay.
these are, like literally like 7 of the girls that are always at that frat house like want to kick the fuck out of this girl. Okay. I don't know why. But I was like, all right, if I remove you from here, everything calms down. You got to go. Like, and everyone here wants you gone. I don't know you. You got to go. And she's like not leaving. And it got to the point where she's like screaming at me. So I don't care. I literally just pick her up.
Yeah.
And just walk her out and put her outside. And then she's looking at me in the face, picks up the phone and goes, oh my God, send cops there. I can't remember the fucking frat's name. He goes, send cops there. They're raping me. Send cops right now.
Serious?
Calls 911. And I have my phone out filming this dumb bitch. I'm filming her faking that. Calling 911.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I sent that video to the frat and they have it. Just in case if cops came. No one ended up showing up. So I'm guessing she actually didn't call 911.
She just faked called.
Yeah, but she literally did that and was lying. She goes, help me, they're being so mean. I can't believe they're doing this to me. Like literally like faking it. And I was just like, from there on, I was like, wow, what the fuck?
Dude, that makes me so...
It was the most frustrating thing to watch in my life.
Well, we both know how Marcus would have handled that.
Yeah. Whoop-ah!
You're not talking to anybody with your jaw wired shut.
Yeah. But yeah, that was just that was like the lowest of the low of like.
Yeah, that's the worst experience
you are
you've
such
had.
a shitty person. I've met a lot of shitty people working these bars and like dealing with fights, but that girl was just like, oh my God.
Just a new level.
Yeah, I was like, you have no regard for like anything you do. Like you don't care about what happens. I definitely don't want it. I don't want. But what's before we progress here?
Yeah,
I don't want to.
Exactly
I'm not acting like women who get actually our victims are lying. There's way more victims than there are ones that are lying, but there are girls that will lie right to a cop.
Yeah,
it's like he did something he didn't, and then it's just like, well, you're a guy, so fuck you. You're going to jail now.
Yeah,
and this is how everyone's gonna know you.
Yeah, and that's exactly. I'm glad you said that because you're absolutely right. Like obviously, we're not trying to belittle anything like that, but it's just insane to me. Like you said, when it's someone's word against someone else's word, like it's just, and I'm sure it happens in situations too. Like we see it all the time now with this Karen situation, where a white woman or a white guy will call the cops on a black person, and it's the same exact thing.
Karen
it's like
shit, bro.
It's like your word against theirs, and it's like that's not how this works.
Due process.
Yeah,
it's like
and
gone.
Oh my God, it's mind blowing to me.
Yeah, man.
Let's pivot because I don't want to get too deep.
Yeah, I don't want to dive deeper into this because I don't want to. I'm not a victim shamer. I'm just
absolutely
saying
not.
My experiences there, and it blew my mind.
That was okay. So that's the worst experience. What's probably, before we get into the other thing that I really want to talk about, what is probably your favorite experience? Like that was the worst one. Do you have a favorite one between bouncing and like just hanging out? Like, did you like, I don't know, meet somebody crazy, or was there a night where you were just kind of like, I can't believe like this is my job, or was that just kind of the norm when you were hanging out with your friends getting paid for it?
That was really just kind of the norm. It is kind of cool whenever you do actually, like, breaking up a fight was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It sounds fucked up, but the reason these big dudes are doing that, it's not just for the money. It's because, like, it's kind of cool. You know, like, you feel you're not like Swayze in Roadhouse. Like, I'm not kicking bitches in the face, like holding down the law, but it is kind of cool. Like, you literally are like coming to save the day in certain instances.
That's awesome.
But outside of that, it's like most of the time you're just kind of sitting there.
Yeah.
Just chilling. And if you didn't have friends, it's miserable.
Do you have, I'm sure this happens because I was the drunk guy who would go up to the bouncers. Do you have a lot of those guys who come up like, hey, bro, like try and be your buddy, so if anything happens, you got their back?
They used to offer me cocaine.
Really?
Yeah, they would offer the bouncer coke.
That's hilarious.
Weird. They would just be like, you're not a cop, right? I was like, no. He's like, you don't want it? I was like, no.
Get
away from me.
Do I look like I do cocaine?
No, dude. All my idols died from it. Like, fuck off. No way. I'm terrified of coke.
The last thing I want to talk about when we're in this bouncing phase, this 100-person brawl that you said you witnessed and were actually a part of.
Oh, yeah.
What was this about?
Complete shit show, and it was literally like a week before Christmas.
Okay, so this is in Orlando at this at one of the nightclubs?
Yeah, in Orlando at one of the nightclubs, and the reason the brawl happened was because all the like people that were freshmen in college that went away to like FSU, all the different like colleges, UF, came back and were
Christmas
in town.
break, or for winter break. Yeah,
everyone wore like their fucking college uniforms. There was college football on. I think, right? They play college football, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure someone had lost, and it just turned into this shit-talking thing. And the bar was, like, surprisingly busy, and we only had, like, 4 bouncers. So we were expecting it to be slow because it was a typically slow day. And it got towards the end of the night. I think it was, like, 20 minutes before closing. There was probably, like, 10 people fighting inside, which was – there was, like, 4 or 5 of us, so we're just like, what the fuck? Yeah. Like, bartenders are jumping over the bar helping us. Like,
bonsai.
They realized what was going on, and it got to a point where we're like, fuck. So we just grabbed this. We have a DJ cut the music, and we're like, everyone's got to go, and we're pushing them all out. Everyone's out beside, and everyone's like standing behind the brawl because we're trying to kick them out. And these dudes are trying to like, they're not trying to fight each other anymore. They're trying to fight the bouncers.
Okay.
They're literally like trying to stick us in the face as we're trying to break the fight and push them out. We eventually push them all outside, and they end up sprinting to the parking lot, and then the whole crowd like stampedes out. And over 100 people, they all stampede out. We finally shut the door, bar it shut, and then we look out the back door. And it was literally like a scene from like the fucking Warriors.
Are you serious?
Just 100 people
rushes out.
People
and then
jumping on cars, fucking running. People were just getting fucking haymakered, fucking blind shot it. What's it called? Cheap shot it.
Yeah.
People just getting knocked out, sucker punched constantly. We were just like, well, we got to do something. There's no cops here.
Yeah.
And the cops were on the way. So we fucking all squatted up, like 4 or 5 of us, and we just walked out there like back to back, like in a circle, and just walk through this brawl.
Spartan style?
Yeah, literally Spartan style. Like if someone was jumping on a car, like one of my bouncers were like literally like sweep them off of the car.
Yeah.
And then like no one ended up running at us, but it got to the point where some of us, like 2 or 3 people were like kicking the fuck out of someone. So we ran over there and like pulled them off.
Yeah.
It was just this horrendous brawl.
Jesus.
And then when the cops showed, everyone ran.
Yeah, of course.
But it was like to the point where it was everyone, and there's like people screaming. They thought we were cops. They were screaming "fuck the police" to us as if we were a bunch of cops.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I know. I'm not a cop. Just stop fucking hitting that kid. Yeah, bro. People
you can't move.
Bro, people got knocked out all the time, bro. Oh my God. I was very, very comfortable with violence.
Yeah, oh yeah.
People just got stuck in the face.
And you're just like, yeah. Shit happens.
Yeah, and then if
maybe watch your mouth next time.
Yeah, and if it's like one fight during a busy night, we're not supposed to go outside.
Yeah,
because it's like we're liable.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Especially too. Not only if God forbid something happens, if you go outside and like push someone and they crack their head open, but if you leave the bar, that's one less bouncer inside.
Yep.
Where there's a shit ton of people.
And if I hurt someone, are they going to sue some college student or are they going to sue a bar?
They're going to sue the bar.
The money, yeah. Exactly. But it got to a point where it was like morals took over. And it's like, kids are getting fucking jumped. We're going to go out there and do something.
Yeah.
So we all walked out. But yeah, people would get knocked out right in front of me, like the distance, like probably like 30 feet away. And I'm just watching. Fuck. damn.
Sucks.
It
God,
sucks
man,
for you, man.
yeah.
Shit. And then the cops ended up showing up.
God damn, that's a crazy brawl.
Yeah.
So you said you don't do cocaine.
No.
You just smoke weed, not a big drug guy?
I honestly stopped smoking weed. It ruins my.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I used to be a big pothead. Used to smoke every day. But now, anytime I smoke, I think about all the shit I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
While I'm high.
You get anxiety?
Ruins my high. Yeah.
I've tried it a couple times when I was in school, and I just get so anxious and paranoid that I was like, this isn't fun. Like, I don't want to do this.
I eventually got to that point like a year or two ago.
Okay.
But
You have done mushrooms, though.
yeah, mushrooms. I'm definitely due for another trip.
Okay.
Definitely due for another one.
You sent that to me. Anything stick out from mushrooms, or you just enjoy them, or?
I just I did them in college when I was like a freshman,
Okay.
and it was just like
How does that come up? Is it just like, hey, we got shrooms?
I had a buddy who had tripped he doesn't really do drugs anymore, this dude.
Oh,
He
really?
used to smoke. I used to smoke weed with this kid all the time. He probably had tripped like literally like 30 to 40 times before I had done anything with him, and he was like 19.
Damn.
So this dude was like tripping balls constantly, and he got to the point where I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm in college.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a little fun. Like I was like, you sure it's safe? This is someone I really trusted.
Okay.
And he's like, dude, I'll be there with you. Everything's gonna be fine. So we take the mushrooms. Craziest fucking trip ever. Like visuals, everything. We got to that point where I was walking around his neighborhood with him, looking for an alligator to wrestle, which was really fucking dumb. But I was.
Very possible here in Florida.
Yeah, we're in Florida. Make sure people know. Could have happened. But yeah, it ended up. I promise you, it was good. That doesn't make it sound good, but it was a lot of just opening. It just kind of. I'm not gonna be all woke.
Yeah.
But it just lets you know it changes your perspective on a lot of things. Because when you come down and analyze it and you come back to like normal, you're like, wow, everything looks so much better. You felt insanely euphoric. And yeah, I was kind of looking at life as if there was like A, B, and C paths to go down. Doing shrooms, it didn't give me like, this is what you do. It was just like, hey, there's a D and E also.
Oh, okay.
It's just like, hey, be a little more open-minded. It's not just A, B, and C. There's also option D and option E.
Yeah.
So it didn't exactly give me info. It just let me know, hey, there's more answers to
it opened your mind a little
everything.
bit.
Yeah, it literally just helped open my mind.
Damn, man. That's a very positive ad for mushrooms.
Yeah, it was fun. That's why I say I'm due for another trip.
Yeah.
Only reason I hadn't was because my mom passed, and I was like, there's definitely some shit I'm not letting go of. That
Well, I was gonna say
like
you have to be careful with that, right? Because on mushrooms, because I was always afraid. Because I've done a lot of different drugs, and I was always afraid of mushrooms and acid, because people were like, if you have bad thoughts, like if you're anxious or depressed or whatever, it'll just amplify that. Like you'll have a bad trip. And so I've always been like, I don't want to have anything to do with mushrooms because I live in anxiety. So I was like terrified of that.
But the thing is that it could help you face it.
Okay.
It could really help you face it. Because if you have a bad trip, it's from two things. It's either you're in a very shitty scenario at the current moment.
Yeah.
Like maybe a fucking cop walks in and or someone's coming after you. Yeah, you're going to have a bad trip.
Okay.
Or someone's fucking with you. Or you have a bunch of shit you're repressing.
Yeah.
Like a bad state of mind or something.
Because that's probably where I would be.
Yeah. And you're going to have a shitty part of the trip, or maybe the whole trip's going to suck, but you just got to understand what it is. Understand that the trip isn't real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That it's real in the sense of you're experiencing, but if you see something, that thing isn't going to kill you. Your mind is putting it there and it's manifesting because you're not facing something.
Okay.
And that's where the trip is. Like, for example, I had a friend who, he's one of my very close friends. He ended up coming out of the closet, and we always knew he was going to be gay. And what? We knew he was still like one of my best friends.
Yeah, it's just the way you said
it.
But we
he
always knew he was going to be gay.
Well, we tripped with him, and he had the worst trip in the world.
Oh, because he was
miserable, and he just wasn't. He ended up he wasn't facing it.
Yeah,
the dude literally hid in a closet while he was tripping. Yeah.
Wow, that's
and it like came. Yeah, it was nuts. It came to him. Now he's still cool as fuck, but he eventually came out. We tripped him again. He was fine.
Oh wow,
he loved his trip.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's literally like if you have a bad trip, it's because you're not usually it's from you not facing something.
Yeah.
Or you could have a bad trip and then you go fucking nuts because you don't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
So don't do drugs, but just know that if you do them, calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
Just take them for what they are.
That's the thing too. Is
it's a lot crazy story.
That is that's mind blowing. How you're just like, oh yeah, I see the world differently now. Because I hear that about ayahuasca too and DMT.
That's like I'm not gonna speak as if I know, because I haven't done them. I'm kind of afraid to do those.
Okay.
But I've had very close friends go try. Where'd they fucking fly to?
South America. I had a friend.
South America.
I had a friend do the
like
same thing. The Ayahuasca Institute.
Yeah, he went to somewhere out there and had like a shaman and everything.
Yeah.
Insane experience.
So I have a. He's not really a friend. He's kind of an acquaintance. I know lives out in LA, but he talked about it very highly. He said that he'd gone to rehabs and treatment centers and detoxes, and he just could not figure it out. And then he went down to South America to the Ayahuasca Institute, and they've got doctors and nurses and shamans and people there to coach you through everything. He said he did that down there, came back, and literally never thought about doing another drug or a drink again. Yeah. He said it saved his life. And because I had reached out to him because I had heard him tell the story on a podcast. And this is when I was like relapsing, and then I'd get 3 months sober. Then I'd relapse. Then I'd get 6 months sober. Then I'd relapse. So I reached out to him. I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing either. And so he had sent me a lot of the information. I just never did it because I didn't have really good insurance and I didn't have any kind of money to do it. So I never did it. But he swore by it.
Yeah, it's healing.
Yeah, so I think it's that same kind of, I don't know, because again, I've never done mushrooms and I've only heard stories about the ayahuasca thing, but it's that opening up your mind to kind of face what you're repressing so you can get over it.
Well, it just, what I think it is, I think you eventually, not literally, but metaphor, you kind of step outside your own body. And you get to look at yourself. Like, the one thing I do vividly remember when I was on shrooms is I felt like I was watching myself go.
Like an out-of-body experience?
I literally felt like I was watching an avatar of me.
Oh, my God.
Like, I felt like I was third person in a video game.
Yeah.
Like, it was weird. Like, it was that to the point of, like, I was still there, but I was, like, disconnected in almost like a good way.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like, it's super just you take a step back from everything else that's bullshit. It can help you reflect on it.
Well, that's another thing, too, is a lot of people just need to take a step back and pause, and myself included. And that's cool that was something that was able to do that for you.
That's why people meditate.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like little mini forms of a trip, I guess.
I've tried to meditate out of. We did guided meditations in one of the detoxes that I was in, and the dude was so good at it. He was into the transcendental meditations. He was so good at like guiding us, and literally same kind of thing where you almost come like out of your own body. And I would try to do it on my own, and I was like, I'm not good at this.
I had a body shoot. Have you ever had sleep paralysis?
Yeah, oh yeah, I hate it.
Dude, I used to get it weekly.
I get it all the time.
Yeah, I had it a couple days ago.
Yeah.
I had a dream inside of a dream. Thought I woke up. Nope, another fucking dream.
Yep.
And it got to the point where I was in my room, but it was very dark.
And you can't move.
I couldn't see it. I went to move my foot. I felt like I only went this far, and I thought I kicked someone. And I thought someone was there, and I just started screaming.
Yeah.
I'm screaming, who the fuck is that? I'm screaming. I'm trying to scream. That's why I'm screaming in my head.
In your head,
You're not. And you're trying to jump up, and you're just sitting
doing
there.
The eye thing, trying to like get up,
wake up,
get up
in a cold sweat.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Just like, fuck.
I fucking hate that shit.
Damn it.
My ex-fiance said, because I used to get night terrors too. So now I always have to sleep with my headphones in because I need background noise to distract my crazy brain. But I used to not. Before I knew like how to deal with it, and she would wake me up at least once a month and be like, "You punched me in the head again, or you're screaming again," because I would just snap. Like in my dream, I would just snap. And you have either the sleep paralysis or the super lucid dreams where you feel like it's really happening, and you like panic in your dream.
So you're a lucid dreamer too?
Yeah.
Yeah. In that same dream, I was following around my brother after I woke up from the second one, hitting him in the arm. Saying, "Is this real? Hello?"
Yeah.
Like hitting him.
The
shit's fucking weird, man.
The scariest lucid dream I had was I woke up from a dream inside a dream and went into the bathroom. And as soon as I shut the door, fucking Freddy Krueger was right behind it. But it looked so real. Because, it's a dream in a dream. And it's lucid. So you're very aware of everything that's happening. And I remember walking into the bathroom, and dude, as soon as I saw that, I shot out of my bed. Freezing cold, covered in sweat, and I didn't sleep for like 2 days.
The fucking bathroom, bro.
I was like,
how old were you?
I was like 26.
Oh, because I had an almost identical dream, but it wasn't Freddy Krueger. I woke up. It was just all I remember from the dream. I still remember this day. It must have been like 16, 17. I woke up, got out of bed, went into the bathroom, shut the door. I looked in the mirror, and out of nowhere, I must have just saw like fucking Paranormal Activity or something.
Yeah.
But my body literally just flew and slammed into the ceiling. And then as I was coming down to hit the floor, I woke up. And I was just like, I gotta go to the bathroom.
So
fuck.
Terrified. My brother taught me this trick. Because like I said, my brother's incredibly intelligent. We're trying to get him on the podcast. I don't know if he's going to come on or not, though. But went to Cornell, PhD. I'm smart.
Mm-hmm. He's the reason you walked at graduation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And good callback. I'm smart, but my brother makes me look like I'm TikToked. Like my brother makes smart people look dumb.
It's annoying. My brother's becoming a doctorate right now.
Yeah, so
a lot of parallels here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but he told me. He was babysitting us once because he's 6 years older than me. So we weren't super tight. Obviously, he's a lot older than I am, so he had his own life going on. But I remember, and I never forgot this. I must have been 5 or 6 years old. He sat me down and he said, why won't you go to bed? And I said, I'm scared because I had nightmares. And still to this day, like I said, if I don't sleep with my headphones in, I'll have nightmares. I have nightmares every night. And he goes, listen, your nightmares are just something that your brain is manifesting. He goes, you know what your brain can't manifest? And I said, what? He goes, you dying. And I said, really? He goes, yeah. So in your dream, if someone's chasing you or if someone's trying to kill you, just stop. Stop. And close your eyes real tight and you'll wake up. And to this day, I still do that. Like if I'm in a dream and I'm trying to run, but I'm like, why am I running? Just stop. And I immediately wake up. It works. Because your brain can't fathom you dying. That's why when you fall in a dream before, like right as you hit the ground, you wake up. Because your brain can't calculate that, or at least that's what he told me, and I believed him, and I still do that to this day. But
I've never been chased in a dream.
Really?
Which would be terrifying, because I'm fat. I can't run fast.
I have dreams all the time.
Yeah, man. So
I would off topic, but
I'd get caught.
I have dreams all the time where I'm like trying to run, and I'm like, I know I can outrun this part. Like I'm an athlete in my head, but I'm like feel like I'm going through water. It's the fucking. I hate dreams. Let's get back on track.
What were we even talking? Well, that was on track. Mushrooms, yeah. Dream is just a trip, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah, we brought it full circle.
It's on track, kind of.
Before we go, I do want to ask you about the Warzone thing.
Yeah,
because that is blowing up. Like you said, what are you up to? Like 100,000 on YouTube subscribers
I'm at
now?
like 97.5K subs on YouTube.
Okay, come on, everybody, get on there.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Yeah, if you play video games, you know me, or if you have a child that plays video games, he knows me.
Yeah.
Most likely my audience is 99.9% men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said either kids or guys that look like you?
Yeah. That's what it is.
But how did that start? Are you a big Warzone guy? Have you always been a big Call of Duty guy? Like, how did that happen?
Always obsessed with video games.
Okay.
I loved video games like crazy. I still don't, to this day in high school, I don't know how I function, but I would literally, because I played football, so I would get out of school, do football practice, go to the gym, come home and play video games till like 4 a.m.
Okay, and then
every night get up
3 hours of sleep and then
and then sleep in class.
Yeah,
and then do it again.
What was your game back then?
Back then,
you're 24?
No, I'm 28.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm born in '93. My game back then in high school was Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Okay.
The first one, Call of Duty 4, and Gears of War.
Gears of War. Okay, so you were a Gears guy.
Yeah.
I was a Halo guy.
You're Halo. Before I had the original Xbox, played Halo 2.
Yeah, okay.
I thought I was good. I sucked at it once I started playing online.
Oh my God, same thing. I got to FAU in 2007, and that's when everyone was kind of started doing the online thing, because 6, 7, 8, 9. That's when online gaming kind of started to take off.
Yeah.
And I thought I was good at Halo. And then I went on there. Shout out to Jason Harmon and Mike Lockley. Mike Lockley lives here in Orlando, but they fucking destroyed everybody. Yep. They would do it with I think it was the original Halo. It was because they would run with the original pistol, charge it up, hit you, your shield will go in, and then they just bash you and you're dead. And oh man, they used to run the table. Were you always good at games?
I was always, out of my friend group, I was like my immediate friend group.
Yeah.
I was always like the best at video games in that group.
Okay.
And that eventually led me to like meeting other kids in school that played, that I'm still friends with to this day. Okay. Like the person I played Call of Duty 4 with, I play with almost every night in Warzone. Okay. Like it's been over 10 years of playing games together. Yeah.
And now you do you're like in that world now, right? That whole gamer world. You do the Twitch streams. You do the.
I started on doing YouTube because I don't have a Twitch following.
Okay.
But I have this pretty sizable YouTube following, so it's like, why am I gonna get you to go from one platform to the other if you're already here? Yeah. Because if I go live, they all get notified. So it's like, yeah, we'll just keep it here.
So you just go live on YouTube.
Engaged. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. How did because I just saw these videos recently, so I guess what I'm trying to dig at, like the root is, like, what made you decide to start doing these Have you been doing this for a while?
I have been making like funny videos since fucking like middle school.
Okay,
but I never really did good with them, and then I started making sketches when I started doing stand-up comedy. Sketches is what got me into stand-up, actually.
Okay.
On top of like taking the classes, I was afraid to still do stand-up, so I was like, oh, I can do sketches and be funny.
Yeah, because it's very vulnerable to do stand-up because it's just you and it's just your thoughts.
Exactly.
And
so
if people don't laugh, you're like, oh, I'm a fucking piece of shit.
So I made sketches, and they I got lucky. The first one I made did very well. Second one I made was funny, and then everything after that sucked. It was a pile of dog shit.
Okay.
Awful. And I was like, how do I get funnier? And I was like, what's the rawest form of comedy? Stand-up comedy. So I was like, I'll try that. And then my excuse for doing comedy was like, I'm just doing this so I can get better at the sketches.
Yeah.
That was what pushed me in to have that excuse of like, I'm not really trying at this.
Yeah. So if
I'm
I
just
do bad,
doing it, you know, if I'm bad, I'm bad. And then I end up falling in love with it. Now that's the main goal for me, is to do that.
Okay.
So
How
what
did
led
you-
to the Warzone is where you're asking.
Yeah, because you said you started with the sketches and that pushed you into comedy.
Yeah.
But then because we brought this up, Marcus and I were sitting at, I think it was a Waffle House, like a few months into the quarantine. We were sitting there talking, and this is what I was telling you about earlier, where we were kind of like, we need to do something. Like, we need to figure something out to do in this quarantine. Because Kermit was making his videos, you were making your videos, Ben was doing the table thing, and we were inspired by what you guys were doing, that we were like, we need to start doing this. But I had always known, you know, since you started doing comedy, because I came down here 2 years ago to watch that Mark Norman show, and I that's when I first saw you perform. But Marcus has always spoken highly of you. Like, I've always seen you on social media doing shows and stuff, so I knew you did comedy. But I think it was at the beginning of the quarantine was when I first saw that Warzone skit that you did about the stairs. That was a big one.
Yeah. That was the first video I made that hit 1 million on YouTube.
Okay, yeah. And so that was something that you had just done, though, correct? That wasn't something you did years ago and it resurfaced.
I did it for a similar reason to why you wanted to do stuff. It was almost like the fear of missing out. Of like,
okay.
These comics these aren't like people that were like, oh, their dad's in the business and gave them a shot. These are comics that I've done shows with that are becoming famous right in fucking front of me.
Yeah.
It was like I got to see Ben Brainerd and my other friend Jeff Wright go from having
Jeff got the writing. Yeah.
Go from almost having no following to over 1 million followers, basically famous. And I was like, they just did it in front of me. I need to grab a piece of this. Like, what are they doing differently?
We thought the same thing. I was like, we just watched this happen 3 times.
It was really reassuring, though. But it was just like, all right, it's not a rigged game. What am I doing wrong? I had to really look at what I look like. Why am I not getting the numbers I should? And I had to adjust. And I just started really tripling down.
So that's when the
Warzone,
kind of the Call of Duty thing, you're like, oh.
I was like, I'm playing Warzone right now. What is huge right now? Warzone, I guess it's a niche thing, because but if you play Warzone, I was like, this game is fucking broken. There's so many issues. I'm gonna make fun of this game relentlessly and as much as I can. And I started just putting my frustrations in the comedy videos.
Yeah.
And people just shared the fuck out of them because they were like, "This happened to me yesterday."
Yeah.
It was like, "Oh, this glitch got me killed yesterday."
Yeah.
I just got stuck in this yesterday, and everyone was just sending it to their groups.
Okay.
Like, I get messages like, "Yo, I share your videos to my group that plays Warzone. Love your shit."
That's
all
awesome,
that.
Man.
Yeah, they all look like me. So it's all fucking. I'm not getting laid off this ever, unless I want big dudes my size to pipe me. It's all dudes like me,
dude. But that's still so cool because it's just that thing where it's like, yeah, if you, like you said, and that's a perfect way to phrase it. The game is not rigged. Like, you just have to do something that people are interested in, and that's one of the weird things, because I've had this conversation a million times with comics I've had on here, with our other artists. Like, I've had musicians on and stuff like that, and I've had actors on and we've talked about it. But it's that weird thing of, and I always reference this quote, but Kyle Kinane always says, like, I don't need all of you. Mm-hmm. I just need a few of you who give a shit. And that's it. That's all I just need enough people to fill up a room. That's not everyone. That's 200, 300 people. That's it.
Exactly.
And so that's how I've always kind of approached it. And you are the perfect example of that with the Warzone thing. Like you said, it's kind of a niche thing, but there are enough people who are very passionate about their game their video games and that game in particular. Like I love that game. I play that game all the time.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where I saw that video and I was like, dude, this is fucking hilarious. Especially because you have the 3 or 4 different characters, but they're all you, but it's just like, you know, you change your shirt or you put on a hat.
Yeah, change the shirt, turn the hat backwards. Or
Yeah,
something.
you do the voice for the one guy where you're like, guy.
Oh, the nerdy guy?
Yeah.
Bro, you play Warzone?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Yeah, well, we'll get a game in.
Yeah.
Or
I'm
something.
so bad at it.
No, it doesn't matter.
But, man, this was awesome. I really appreciate you coming out. Plug everything one more time, from the YouTube to the podcast to everything.
Yeah, the main thing is the 2 things I really, if you want to check me out, is YouTube, just youtube.com/Jake Ricca, and then my Instagram, which is just Jake Ricca. It's JakeRicca.
Okay.
That's it.
I always said Ricca.
It's because that's how it's spelled. I don't know. Maybe my dad was wrong when he told me
You
how
go
to
by,
pronounce
you
it.
say Ricca though.
It's Ricca. Yeah, it's always been. My parents told me it's Ricca, but if you read it, it says Ricca.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't get it. I don't even get caught up. If you call me Ricca, I don't think twice about it. I'm like, oh, that's me. Yeah, what's up?
Yeah.
Doesn't bother me. That and then a Cup of Jokes.
Yeah.
We have a podcast on Apple, iTunes, just how it sounds, Cup of Jokes. Instead of Cup of Joe in the morning, it's Cup of Jokes. The hosts are Jake and Joe, so Jake plus Joe is Joke.
Oh, hey, look at that.
Yeah, right.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a little more.
When does that drop? When does that come out?
Every Wednesday we got episodes, and we just had our 100th.
Oh, congratulations.
episode. So yeah, and we're ramping up, hopefully getting start filming the pod.
Yeah.
It's a bitch to film.
Oh, dude.
It's a pain in the ass. Dude.
Everyone's like, you should film it. You should. I'm like, yeah, I should. I know I should.
Yeah, you want to edit that shit,
Yeah.
idiot?
I've had people reach out to me and be like, I'll edit it for free. I go, absolutely not. Because
it's
I've
gonna
done
look-
shit for free, and you don't care if you do it for free.
Yeah.
Again, man, I really appreciate you coming on here. Hopefully we can push you over that 100,000 mark on the subs. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Again, Brennan T Comedy on all social media. Check out BrennanTComedy.com for my upcoming dates. Thank you again, Jake, for coming out, and we will talk to you all next week.